Welcome back to another video, and today will be an exciting new video about my first impressions of some new to the market makeup products. So for today's first impressions, as you can probably see from the title, we are actually only going to be going through like two products. However, one of these is a multitasking product and the other one is a liquid highlighter that has been going around social media quite a lot. So first which we will be starting with the eyes, and most of the other makeup is this one. So this is the Danessa Myricks, and this was called Blooming Romance palette. So this is the second kind of palette that she has done in this format. On last year they really came out with the first one, which was a more neutral one. And now she came out with a more pinky one, and because I saw that the original Groundwork palette had gotten quite a lot of reviews, and I was thinking that, well, maybe I could, because Danessa Myricks brand in general has been getting quite a lot of good like reviews from different kinds of influencers, I thought that maybe this would be a good way to try it. So today we are going to do the eyes, the blush, and also the lips with this one. However, I will emphasize, for example, that with lip products, I don't like using these kind of palettes because I need my lip products to be something that I can then throw in my purse and reapply during daytime, but for the sake of like experimenting, today I will be also doing lips with this one. But first let's start with the main thing, which is the eyes, and now I actually have to watch which shade are we going to start with. And I will also tell, am I using the cream version or the powder version. So with this palette, if you're unfamiliar with the format, there's a very small pan over here for the powder version of it, and then there is the large pan is for the cream. But I think for today's look we will start with the Smitten shade, and as an all-over lid shade I will be using the cream version over here of this shade, and we will see. I am very interested to see how this is going to go, and just like always I'll just do the one eye, so you won't have to watch me fiddling out with two different eyes, and we'll do this one for the camera. It is not a particularly, well, it is quite of a pale shade, but... And I have used my normal eyeshadow base because I do want to see how this works for like my typical eyeshadow routine. So I use the Gloss Gods eyeshadow primer as my base for all my eyeshadows, and mine is in the, I think it's the palest or the second palest shade. That is showing up. Let's build it. Sorry, of course, because these are cream, I'm using the cream version. I shouldn't have to tap my brush. That's just sort of an habit, because with the powder shadows you're so used to doing it that you tap your brushes, and yeah. I'd say like first impression based on application, very smooth. You do have to build it a little bit, but very smooth and very effortless. Then I think let's keep with the cool toned theme, and then let's try the purple shade called Allure, which is this one. And with this one I will be using the, let's try the powder one. So I will be using this, and I will use it sort of on the middle part of my lid, and then we will go try out one shade to darken up. And my makeup preference is that I usually want to add a shimmer to my lid. However, for the sake of this video I will be not adding the shimmer, but this is now in my makeup rotation, so I do actually have one older all shimmer palette that I will be using in conjunction with this one with my everyday makeup as I try this out. But in this video we will be doing an all matte look to see how the palette like works on its own. And yeah, but now let's try the Allure and in the powder format and how it layers on top of the cream. These are a bit, there is with the powder shade there is a bit kick up. I'm gonna just say that out right now. Okay, the powder is, despite it being quite kick-uppy, it's actually laying out quite nicely. Also, it doesn't feel that the cream is making it stiff or sort of gripping, that you aren't able to blend it out. It is quite odd because this is a more, in the pan it looks like a cool toned lavender, but when I lay it on top of the cream shade it actually turns quite almost this like dark pinkish, more of a mauvish shade, so that is quite just an interesting note. Let's use the other brush that I applied the original cream shade to just blend stuff out. And so this is how we are looking, and then let's use, I'm gonna see which are we using as a deepening up shade. So let's try the Bliss over here, and I think as an experiment I will first use the cream version, but if it looks like the cream version isn't working as an deepening up shade, then I will go over it with the powder. But yeah, let's try the Bliss one and see how this works. Now what kind of brush do I want to use? I think that's gonna be good. And all of my makeup brushes, as far as I know, are the sort of an faux hair brushes, so I don't have like real hair brushes, so the product application might change depending, because I do know that some formulas work better with the like real hair brushes, but I thought I would just mention that. Let's put that on the outer. Yeah, I'd say the cream is building. I am kind of thinking that these are like maybe blending in, looking a bit like same in terms of shades, even though in the pan they look like they have different undertones and different variation, but I do think that that is still working out. Now I'm just using the brush that I used to apply the previous shade, which was a powder, and then let's work with the brush that had the lightest shade. Yeah, I'd say that's looking, I mean, is it the most innovative eye look ever? No. I am a bit concerned how the cream is gonna last on the... Yeah, maybe I'll do it so that I will use the same shade but the powder version, so the Bliss shade, and I will use the powder version to just lay it on top of a little bit, just to help with the longevity, because I think I've mentioned it previously that my lids are the more... I don't have as oily skin as I used to have, but it is still unlike oily leaning skin, so for example with my lids, anything oily on there or cream there can be a bit of an like make stuff crease, so I will just to give it the best possibility to last, I will layer the same shade as some powder. Yeah, I think that's a nice looking rosy shade, but perhaps first impressions, I do feel that the shades kind of, even though they, because I did like use clearly three different shades, so I used the Smitten shade, then I used the Allure, and then as a last shade I did use the Bliss shade, but I do feel that they all mashed up into looking bit of looking the same, but that's just the first impression. I will keep trying this out to my eyes and see how I feel about it in a couple of weeks time, but just the first impressions on the eye application. So now I will go off camera, do the other eye, and I will put some of more base products, and then we will next try this one on the cheeks as blush, and then I do have a very exciting liquid highlighter that we will be also trying out for the first time today. So, other base products are on, so I put my concealer. I am using the Pat McGrath bronzer today in the fairest shade. Don't remember the right on my top of my head was the fairest shade on the Pat McGrath bronzer, but I thought it would fit the theme since we're doing a lot of high-end makeup today. But let's get back to the Danessa Myricks palette, because we are doing the blush with it, and obviously because the powder pans are so small, we are only doing the creams, because it's impossible to fit obviously a blush brush to the powder shades. But I think in the theme of the all over rosy eye look that we're having today, I am kind of missing that shimmer because, as I said, I prefer to have a shimmer all over the lid, but I am still kind of vibing with the rosy vibes. Could we do a really pale blush with the shade Crush? I'm gonna see will this show up on my skin. It could be that even I'm not fair enough to pull this off as a blush, but in order to try as many shades as possible, I will try this one. If it doesn't work, then I will try the dreamy shade, which is a bit more, I'd say, pink reddish leaning rather than cool tone, but still. But let's start with the cream shade Crush over here, and we are using the same bit more denser brush that we are always using for creams, but this is a bit of a stiffer formula, so let's see how first does it show up, and then I think it is actually showing up. And because we're doing natural lighting conditions, I am already like apologizing that we are going to be looking a bit uneven because on camera, but yeah, that is actually surprisingly like showing up. It is a paler shade. I'm not so sure how much this is now. The window light is washing this side, but it is like showing up on the mirror. But let's try the other side also. Maybe one more layer for the... So obviously for any like, I'd even say maybe a light skin tone or even and of course medium tan, like the palest shades aren't going to be working as a blush, but on a fair skin I think you can actually pull this also off. Yeah, I think that is the best we will be doing. The pomade shades are quite stiff. I am now thinking that could we maybe do one more. Let's do one more experiment. This is going to be like a blush overload, but anyway, so I have a wet sponge and I will be now careful because I will need this for the highlighting phase, but I am taking the wetted sponge and putting it to the pale pink shade that we were using to the pomade side and see that if this can be picked up even better with a sponge, because some pomade formulas do actually work a bit better when you pick them up directly to your... I think in regards to using these as blushes, I will keep doing a bit of experimenting with the pomade shades that I actually feel that they apply a bit better when picking them up directly with a sponge, because I did feel that with a blush brush that usually works for most of my like liquid and cream blushes, these were a bit... It took a bit effort to pick them up, but the end result is nevertheless, I do like this, is quite pretty. And now for the exciting part, folks. So I was the person who went and spent money on this. So these are the new Dior liquid highlighters, so the Forever Glow Maximizers, and obviously because Charlotte Tilbury made this quite popular with the flawless filter product, now like all brands seem to be coming out with their version. And this pink shade, this is the shade pink, and I know this has been very popular. I managed to get in our department store the day these had been just put out, and the sales clerk, because I went there after my workday was over, the sales clerk already told me that yeah, you're lucky because all the pink shades were almost like sold out. And actually when I visited our department store during this week, there was like a sold out sign with the pink shade. All the other shades seem to be in stock, but this one has been a very popular, and also based on the amount of views I got when I made a short YouTube shorts and reels with this. I think especially on Instagram, my short, it got like really popular. It got like ridiculous amount of views. It has like well over 1,000 views, and with my very small like channels both on Instagram and YouTube that is like a lot of views, but obviously there's been quite a lot of demand for seeing this. But let's open this up. So it has the doe food applicator. This is actually quite something that I do prefer with liquid highlighters. With the Essence liquid highlighter that I have been trying out recently, and that will be featured on my end of the April review video. With that one, even though I said that the formula for drugstore has been quite, I have been liking it a lot, because it is in a pump, getting it precisely to your cheekbones is how I like to use these liquid highlighters. Is a bit of an, it's more of a bit more messy, but with this one, with the doe food, it's easier to apply them. And yeah, and just like with all my liquid highlighters, how I like to apply them, first I will dab them on the cheeks and then I will be using a sponge. The sponge will take some of the color away, so I will most likely have to do 2 layers, but that's just how I prefer to do my makeup. And now I'm actually thinking that this is actually going to be the same shade as the blush, and now I'm going to be using a different side. Yeah, we are matching. Is this actually darker than the blush I'm currently wearing? Jury might be. No, I do think that it is a bit. Okay, maybe a bit of 50-50, like is it actually like, should I have maybe used this as a bit smoothing out the edges. It is quite pretty. Yeah, I'd say I can now see why this has been quite popular. Like it is definitely an extremely pretty shade. Is it worth like over the 40 or something euros I spent for this? That is a bit debatable at best, but it is nevertheless an extremely pretty highlighter shade, and it is blending in quite well. So yeah, I would say that just based how much this seems to have this sort of very like pearl-like pigment, I think with some skin tones, because it is quite, well, it is pink, it has quite a lot of, there seems to be quite a lot of like white pearl pigment mixed within this. With some skin tones, I would say that this shade will look a bit ashy. So if you especially have done, and I would, for example, recommend that when you're buying a product this expensive, then please go see it in store and make sure it's something that you actually want. But first impressions on my skin tone, because I have a fair skin tone with a cool undertone, this is actually like probably one of the best kind of highlighting shades I could like imagine. But on some other maybe warmer, deeper skin tones, I would really like go out and swatch this and see that is it like already like leaning too much grayish and ashy and like not looking nice, because there are other warmer shades in this series that Dior came out with. So there is, I think, a shade like for most people, but for with fair skin with cool undertone, very beautiful. I'm not gonna make judgment yet that was this worth the over 40 euros, because we have had some very good like more affordable options for liquid highlighters lately in the market. But if you're enjoying, if you like your like luxury makeup experience and you love Dior, then this is a like, based on first impressions, this is like a good buy if you're that kind of person. But is it like generally when you would think all the liquid highlighters that are out there, that I will have to like test this out now more and see that how I will feel about it in a few weeks time. And as you can see, we are having lip liner already on, but I will be, again, because I feel a bit strange doing lips on camera, I will be doing the application part of camera. But for the lips, and as I said, for the sake of experimenting, we are doing lips with also the Danessa Myricks palette. However, this is not, I would never use this kind of palette for lips, obviously, because I can't put this on my purse, even though it's a nice palette, but yeah. I think we will continue with the cool tone sort of vibe. So we will use the Allure, which we also used this in the powder format in the eyes, but we will try this cream formula now on the lips and see how it will work. And I do think this should match the lip liner I am wearing currently. But anyway, I will be going now off camera and you will soon see the like result of how this will look on your lips. So, lips are on. First impressions regarding using the pomades as lips. This is a very this feels even drier than I think the driest lipstick or liquid lipsticks I have tried. So for my preferences, even though I can also appreciate a good liquid lipstick when I need one, but this would not, even in terms of formula, be something that I would be gravitating towards. Also, something very interesting was that when I tried to like use the brush that I used for the lip application, I picked up product from that pan. It seemed to go a bit, I don't know, I think there seemed to be like with the brush I wasn't able to get like a smooth layer on the brush, but it felt that it took almost like these small crumbs of color, and which did cause some issue getting this to spread evenly. But like if you're looking for a nice sort of smooth matte look, then these pomades are good for lip use, but I would say for most people these will be like too drying, especially to wear throughout the whole day. And then considering that you can't exactly like put this palette unless you have a very big purse and you're very committed in like using this also to your lips, but this isn't exactly a portable form of a lip color or for a lip product, so that is also why for me this isn't like, as I said, it's just not going to be my preferred way of doing lip products. But as a lip formula altogether, I also don't feel that this is the best you can get in terms of like higher end lip formulas. But yeah, that was the sort of last step of my makeup routine. I will get my hair free and then I will do a short conclusion of this first impression video. So hair is out and about, and let's go through now how I feel about this. I'm all together now that I'm looking myself at the mirror. The eyeshadow looking pretty good, no creasing so far, even though I did also use quite a lot of the powder versions of the shades, but still eyeshadow looking very pretty, even though I'm still kind of missing my shimmer. But if you're just taking this as an all matte eyeshadow look, it is very beautiful and everything's looking quite smooth. Cheek products also, the Dior highlighter, it's definitely there, it's glowing, it's looking quite pretty, and I would say that this one, I did apply quite a lot of it for the like sake of video, for making it look very like obvious, so you would like see it in action. But maybe if you put a bit less than me, then you can also get this to be a bit more subtle, but you can definitely get this to be like, it's not gonna be like the most sparkliest of things, obviously, because this doesn't have like straight out glitter particles, but you can definitely get this to like show up and be very blinding if you want to. Now I think the product that was of course used the most, so this one, as I said, for the eyes I will keep trying out this one, because even though I felt that I did make an active effort to use different kind of shades with different kinds of undertones, I did feel that everything in my eye look, while it's looking very pretty and smooth, I did feel that things kind of blended in together to look very samey, so I will have to keep trying this one out. And I will test out further how the pomades act as a cream blush with maybe a bit different techniques, and see how I will feel about it. But as a whole, I do feel that the quality is definitely there. It is a high quality palette in terms of eye application, works for cheeks, also works for lips, but just with lips remember that this is not the most comfortable thing you will ever wear, and I know that later on this evening I will probably be applying a lip balm or something, because this is like feeling very dry. So I'd say for a first impression, I'm considering that both of these are quite expensive products. I would say that in terms of versatility, like the Danessa Myricks palette is like the most versatile, because at least you have the options of using it in 3 or actually like 4 kinds of ways, because if you have a warmer undertone, you could also use these as your brow products. I do know for quite a lot of people they use the original Groundwork palette as the pomades as a brow like products too, but for me these are obviously too dark and too reddish for my undertone to be used like that. But with this one you definitely have the option that if the undertones fit to your skin tone and so on, then you can use this like even 4 kinds of ways if you really want to. With this one, like I said, I am liking this especially on my skin tone and with my skin undertone, but I will have to keep trying this out and determine was it this really worth the over 40 euros, because it is still, in the end of the day, liquid highlighter that has limited use of product, so with this one we shall see. But anyway, I would very much like to know, have you been trying out these products, or have there been any other like higher end new products that you have been trying lately and how you felt about them. But if you want to see more content from me, I would really much appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, push the like button of this video and ring the bell if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog. I hope I will be seeing you again in another video soon. Bye bye!